I'm your host, Curtis Armando. I want you to call me live in the studio right now at 312-374-8130. We got a great show lined up for you today. I got the founder and CEO of 37 Oaks Consulting, LLC, Ms. Terrand Smith. Good morning, Terrand. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you.
All right. And then, she the original Breakfast Club right here. I know our good folks out in New York gets their pub, but the real Breakfast Club on this side of town, this side of the world, she's the founder of Sib's Breakfast Club, the one and only Sibyl Holloway. Good morning to you, Sibyl.
Good morning.
All right. And so sit back, relax, and let yourself go. Got to get thanks what thanks is due. First of all, I want to say thank you to the Creator. Thank you again. Never would have made it. Never would have made it without you. You just sit back and think about some of the crazy things that you've been through in your own personal life, and you just wonder, how in the hell did I make it through? How in the hell did I not lose every little ounce of what little good sense I had in my brain? You just look back and you think back when you got clarity and say, man, it was you who, and as entrepreneurs, you know that, right? You got so many ebbs and flows in your business life and things. So you're juggling your business life, you're juggling your personal life. And hey, I got news for you, my aspiring entrepreneurs. When you're hurting personally, it can impact business.
That is true.
It can impact business. And when you're hurting personally, business doesn't stop. So somehow you have to find a way to put that proverbial smile on your face and stay focused and do things even when you don't feel like it, when every bit of you is hurting and you wonder, how in the hell did I make it through this thing? And you look back and you just got to give them the glory and honor for it. So I want to say thank you for it. The Urban Business Roundtable, a show dedicated to everything entrepreneurs. We are dedicated to the creation and growth of the urban entrepreneur and small business owner. Again, you can listen to the Urban Business Roundtable live here every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and a condensed recap on Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. and Thursdays at 6:05 p.m. Be sure to go out to WVON.com and click on the Urban Business Roundtable banner and download the full podcast. Say good morning to people who follow me on social media. Janae Gilbert, what's up, G? How you doing? And she said, thanks, that's what I needed to hear that. God bless. Take the words from the source through my mouth to you. The doors of the church are open. Hey, we don't have Sonia Levine, our producer, is not in the studio. So we got outside our beautiful, intelligent women today, we got an all men's crew. We got my man Troy, the silent assassin behind the scenes doing this video thing, and my man Mighty Titus. Good morning, Titus. How you doing?
Good morning. Last week I said go Bears. They disappointed me.
See, there you go. There you go. Listen, man, there's still room in that New England Patriot bandwagon, man.
They might get me soon.
Hey, it's still room, man. Hey, so Sonia, our great producer who is responsible for getting a lot of great guests on the show. She couldn't make it this morning, so she texted me and said, "Hey, I got another meeting that I can't make," and I'm like, "Yeah, right." So you think I was born yesterday? Like, I know what time it is. It's cuffing season. It's cuffing season. It's October. See, somehow, look, when you get past September, October, like August, September, and that weather start to turn, people you've seen all summer long, they get real scarce and little. You know why? It's cuffing season. You don't want to go outside. It's cold. It's rainy. You just want to, Sonya got the head rag on we talked about, or the bonnet. We talked about this on the Urban Biz. It's cuffing season. I guarantee if I put a track on Sonya contract, it ain't left her house. It ain't left her residence. Talking about she going to whatever the case may be. Hey, but look, okay, so we got Sibyl here, and Sibyl throws all these events where people are supposed to network. I got news, Terrand and Sibyl. I hate networking. I really do, but it's one of them things. Sometimes in business, you do things that you don't necessarily like to do, but you got to do it. It's part of the what you sign up for. So I go to a networking event at Fifth Third Bank this week at the Willis Tower. It was great. And a couple of things. One, these millennials, they different in a good way. They're wait. I'm laughing because Titus hits me with somebody's on the phone, and it's Sonya. It's our producer who's supposed to be in her meeting, but we really know she cuffed up and she didn't scooted over to the other side of the bed with the phone. Hey, Sonya Levine, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Monday. I hear you on the ones and twos. Bad mouth to me. What's up with that?
We know the truth. Everybody in the studio and I don't know if you got the window open at your house to make it sound like, I know you live in the city, so it's cars passing by, but you're not really driving though. You're not really driving nowhere. Come on, man. I am
driving the whip listening to you. This is so crazy. I told you I had a doctor's appointment. Why this doctor called me in? And y'all, I'm going to let y'all get back to y'all. So, because I would love to hear Curtis and the guests talk, because I'm always in the studio. It's kind of different listening to the show in the studio versus on the radio.
Right.
But so far, so good. You're sounding wonderful.
Well, I appreciate.
But anyway, I had a doctor's appointment, y'all, so there it is.
Yeah, whatever. Bye. Hey. Y'all can't see me, but look. Yeah, right. You're not in no doctor's appointment. And see, Sonia's not here. So look, I can't, I wanted to throw this, I had this question for her about etiquette. My man Troy is here. And Troy is married. Married, how many people married in the studio? Okay. So we got Troy. All right. So Troy, help me out with etiquette. You out with your wife. You out with your lady, out with your wife. And you run up on somebody that you used to date. See, I got a proverbial groan. Even Titus behind the studio wall was like, ugh. You run up on somebody you used to date. What's the etiquette? Do you say, hey, babe, there's Jackie. We used to date.
No.
Or do you act like you don't know Jackie? Remember, your lady got that thing called women's intuition, and she can sense that you and Jackie. So what's the etiquette? So can I hear you? So what's the etiquette, Troy?
You know what? Honestly, me and my wife, we so open. She's gonna notice it as soon as I notice it. So we're a little bit more fluid and open.
So y'all fluid.
And what we got going on, especially with our past. So
gotcha.
She's gonna probably notice her way before I do.
Gotcha.
And then we'll figure out the interaction.
See, part about being in business, you got to be real perceptive. You got to know people and watch people. And I contend, if you're with somebody, they're going to be in tune to you. Now, fellas, here's a Monday tip. I'm good with advice. I'm good with consulting in business. I'm going to give you this one. If you out with your lady, first of all, if you run up on somebody you used to date, cop to it. If you try to lie, she's going to know. So don't even try. Just, hey, offer the information up. But here's how you can tell that if your woman used to date somebody, because they're going to be better at concealing it than we are. They are better at things than we are. Definitely this. They're better. So here's how you know. If you're with your lady, and we're going to call him Buddy. If Buddy comes up and they used to date, right? And she goes, hey, buddy, how you doing? I just planned to meet you. You don't need to worry about him. You don't need to worry about him. He cool. However, though, if Buddy comes up and she does, oh, it's that stuff. Oh, that's the one you got to be worried about. They used to date. See, the first Buddy, they just went out for coffee. They just networked. We met at a networking event. They had coffee, Sibyl. The other Buddy, they dated, like he in the rafters, his jersey in the rafters somewhere. You got the work. This is how you learn. You just think business is just about like you learn little traits to help you in life and business. You got the what. So if she ever go, oh, hey, let your antennas come up, fellas. They used to date. He's in the rafters. Okay. enough of being silly. Real quick before we go to my man with the patient investor report, I was talking to Sibyl and Terrand a little earlier today. We talked about with the Urban Business Roundtable, we try to help people learn how to leverage their purchasing power. African Americans, $1.2 trillion in purchasing power. And I said that I don't know if we really know the true power that we have when we say that. And it was an interesting story, this whole thing in China and the protests in Hong Kong. And I was commenting to you guys how China has they got it figured out. They're leveraging their power. The NBA, Daryl Morey from the Houston Rockets, the general manager, made a comment about the protesters. China didn't like that. What's the end result? China not broadcasting any preseason NBA games. Tim Cook, Apple CEO, everybody got an Apple product, had to take off the App Store an app that the protesters were using to coordinate efforts and their means or their ways to attack the police officers. And so he took it off because he said it didn't fit Apple's rules and guidelines for proper usage of their technology, but behind the scenes, Apple does a lot of business in respect to Asia and the Asian market. So they are really a company in a third world country, well, not a third world country, but a company that's a country that's abroad has a profound impact on what we're doing here domestically. Let's start with you, Terrand. When we start talking about leveraging our purchasing power, making our voice known in the marketplace, how do we do a better job at that?
I mean, we just really have to understand the power that we have. I think collectively we don't often understand that. So I think once we understand the power that we have collectively and the impact that we could have on our communities, especially from a retail perspective, I mean, I always talk that way, but then I think we could really start to leverage it. I just think there's some disconnect there in terms of really understanding the power that we can have.
Sure. One of the things you do, Sibyl Holloway, with your platform is that you make it an effort to support black-owned businesses and et cetera. So you're around the main source of movers who can move the needle on the marketplace. How do we do a better job of you understanding our power and using it?
Exposure. Whenever I have a campaign called 20/19, and I tell people just put that hashtag everywhere you go. If you go to a coffee shop, Sip and Savor. If you're eating at Enormous Bistro. If you're going to Mariano's and you buy a black product, take a picture of it, put it on social media, and let people know about it.
Absolutely.
Exposure is everything. You're nothing without exposure.
Absolutely, absolutely. To piggyback about what you two said, my idea would be, one, to collectively get our power structure together and respect the small businesses and try to form entities like a PAC, Political Action Committee, and use that money and our resources in the PAC to leverage or to influence legislation that impacts what we do in our day-to-day lives, and also in respect to our businesses and things of that nature. If we can create the laws that govern the rules, then that puts us in a good place. And then at that point, maybe we can go to these major corporations and say, hey, what does your diversity numbers look like? Mm-hmm. And how many African Americans or people of color do you have sitting on your board? What is the ratio of women in ranking positions with your corporation? So just some thoughts that we're thinking out loud. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back on the other side, we're going to have the Patient Investor Report. We're going to get into some conversation with my two guests today here on the Urban Business Roundtable.
Up next on the Urban Business Roundtable is Qua of Ariel Investments to encourage you to stay the course with this week's Patient Investment Report. If you're looking for financial advice for your business or just need help saving, use the hashtag AskAriel and tag at UBR1690 to hear your questions answered by Qua, our Patient Investment Advisor.
Go to the Patient Investment Report with my man Qua, and then we'll come back and get some conversation with these two intelligent young ladies.
It's Qua, your patient investor from Ariel Investments. This week's number to know is 22%. According to a 2018 survey from creditcards.com, 22% of people who carry a balance on their credit card, they did so because they thought that carrying a balance would help their credit score. Unfortunately, they're wrong. Keeping a balance does not improve your credit score. Now, the confusion could be around the idea of credit card inactivity. If you're inactive and you never use a credit card, that can hurt your credit score. So from that perspective, it's helpful to use your credit card regularly and show that you can pay off the minimum on time. But there's no advantage if you keep a balance. At that point, you're just paying interest. So what does make up your credit score? First is your payment history. The key here is to always pay at least the minimum on time. If you're consistent, your credit score goes up. If you're late, your credit score goes down. The second part of your credit score depends on how much credit you're using. Most experts suggest using less than 30% of your available credit. So for example, if you happen to have a credit card with a $1,000 limit, you don't want to charge more than $300 on the card. If you start to use more than 30% of your limit, then your score might go down. But if you keep your credit use below 30%, then you should be fine. Other factors that can impact your credit score include the length of your credit history, the types of credit you use, and when you last may have applied for credit. But the two biggest factors are your payment history and how much credit you use. So, keep it simple. Pay your bills on time and keep those balances low. Carrying a balance won't help. And if you can pay off your credit card each month, even better. For more tips, visit ArielInvestments.com. And remember, slow and steady wins the race.
Thanks, Kwa. Our first guest is a consummate retail professional. She oversaw close to $1 billion in revenue during her decade-long career in corporate retail, working at the headquarters of CVS, Sears, Kmart, 7-Eleven, and Steelcase. She managed, grew, and restored categories and thousands of products and hundreds of vendor partners in over 15,000 retail stores. In early 2004, she ventured down the entrepreneurial path and co-founded a technology startup that leveraged much of her background at Steelcase. And in 2016, following her passion, she transitioned to become a solopreneur and founded 37 Oaks, which is a commerce consulting firm that develops solutions in retail, innovation, and economic development. I want to say good morning to our first guest, founder and CEO of 37 Oaks Consulting, LLC, Terrand Smith. Good morning, Ms. Smith.
Good morning. How are you?
All right. Our second guest, they say that there are often hints of someone who they will be early as a childhood, and this is certainly the case with our next guest. She founded the Sibs Breakfast Club in 2008 with the sole purpose of supporting African-American businesses and enterprise through social and non-social networking. She's now approaching 11 years of patronizing and marketing over 500 black businesses all over the Chicagoland area, Houston, Ohio, and Michigan. She's been seen on WGN and on numerous radio stations across the country for a successful platform, and she's turned her passion into a successful marketing business named Sibyl Holloway Marketing. Holloway is also now the owner of a private 14,000 square foot co-working space located in the South Loop area of Chicago. I want to say good morning to also the Miss Sibyl Holloway. Good morning, Sibyl.
Good morning. Good morning.
So I was listening to Kwa's Patient Investor report about credit, about the different things of credit. Isn't it amazing? Tell me, when you were growing up, well, your father, not to steal your thunder, you had an exposure to entrepreneurship growing up, right?
I did.
Your dad was an entrepreneur, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
He had a store, a grocery store, and a fish market.
Okay.
And a game room. Remember the game room days?
Yeah, back in the day,
we had all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I worked at them, you know.
To that point, we just listened to Kwa give his patient investor report and give some tips about credit, about balances, about payment on time and things of that nature. I'm curious, Terrand, growing up, did anyone ever tell you about credit? You ever have any kind of conversation about credit?
No.
No? What about you, Sibyl?
No.
Isn't it amazing that all these different principles, sometimes as African Americans, especially now as business owners, we learn about this stuff secondhand. And for business owners, credit is key because it provides us access to capital. Without the credit, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. How do we do better at having these conversations with our community to help prepare us better for opportunities, not just in life, but maybe potential entrepreneurial opportunities, Sibyl?
I think it should be taught in school.
Yeah.
Because now I'm just learning about these things. Learned the hard way. What do you think, Terrand?
Yeah, I mean, definitely being taught in school. But one thing I would also like to see is that for some of these existing business owners that are out there, to help really mentor and have these conversations with their fellow business owners.
Yeah.
Because as you said, if they're trying to get capital, like you have to at the least have a bank account.
Yeah.
And, some of our businesses are just straight, cash.
Yeah.
And just having some of these
Yeah.
Because you have to show like history of deposits and income and stuff. So these are things that existing business owners can show and teach, newer ones.
I meant I can't believe that they're just not having bank accounts.
Oh, no, they don't. There's a lot of cash businesses out there.
So what happens, as shocking as that may be to Sibyl and some of our listening audience, a lot of individuals may think that they have a business. In reality, they have a glorified job. They got a skill set that they do really well. And they do that, and they stay so locked into doing that they don't spend time about the actual business. They work in the business versus on the business. And when you don't work on the business, you don't think about things like accounts for your business. You don't think about your taxes. You don't think about marketing strategy. You don't think about networking. If you're baking cakes, you just bake the cake, right? And you keep doing that and then doing that consistently. To your point, though, I can remember going to college, and on my first day at NIU, we got this welcome box, right? And in this box, it was Vibrant to stay up. It had like a shaving kit. I just grew facial hair like last week. Sibyl, according to Sibyl, I'm just a younger, so I just got the facial hair last week. But in this thing, they had a credit card application, right? And And the credit, I'm a broke college student. So, of course, what did I do? I filled out the credit application, and lo and behold, about a week later, I get in the mail this credit card with a $500 limit. I'm like, oh, wow, snap, I could use it. There was no instructions about I had to pay it back, let alone pay it back on time. Like, so the early conversations make sense. And to your point, Terrand, when you try to grow your business and gain scale, right? And you go to these institutions for financing opportunities, you got to have your ducks in a row, right? You got to be in order. Let's start with you, Terrand. Tell us a little bit about how your entrepreneurial walk started. You started in corporate America and you had your thing. Tell me what was the salient moment, the aha moment that made you switch over.
When I was in corporate, I was blessed to work for some really good companies, but I always felt stagnant. I couldn't really articulate why or what it was, but I always felt like I was stuck at a certain level, that I wouldn't advance to the level that I wanted to get at. So that's when I co-founded this tech startup, and I started to see, I never really thought about entrepreneurship. I didn't grow up around it. I really didn't know anything about it. But in doing this, I was like, I could maybe actually do this on my own. Like, I could maybe actually run a business. So that kind of gave me a little sense of entrepreneurship, but I was still with a partner at that time. I wasn't solo. And then I also started to see the impact that I was actually having on the community. Like, that for me was fulfilling that purpose and that sense of stagnation that I felt at corporate. And I was actually seeing the results of what I was doing. So for me, honestly, it was just a jump. I just jumped full time into entrepreneurship and solopreneurship. And I said, if I didn't generate revenue in, I think it was 60 days with this idea that I had at the time, it was 37 Oaks, then I was going to go back to corporate.
Why do you make the distinction between entrepreneurship and solopreneurship?
Well, maybe the distinction should be more about being a co-founder of a startup that I had versus being a solopreneur. When I was a co-founder, I had the support and the resources, and I could leverage what someone else knew. But I'm a solopreneur now, so it's all you. It's all me, and it's totally different.
How long were you in corporate America?
About over 15 years, a little over 15 years.
And after being in that environment for 15 years, what was the single most, psychological barrier or hurdle that you had to overcome? Like, for example, a lot of people say, well, I get a steady paycheck. And the thought of not getting the steady paycheck frightens me to death. And it's because of that becomes their hurdle. They can't get over it, or they do. What was the one thing for you that you had to kind of wrap your arm, like, okay?
I would definitely say the steady paycheck. Like, if I don't kill it, I don't eat it, basically. Yep. But the second thing, I know you didn't ask me for two. The second thing is I have to figure it out. When you're in corporate, you have a marketing department, a finance department, logistics, everything. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't have those different departments. So if you don't kind of at least know a little bit about it enough to push the business forward, you may not be able to succeed. So I had to learn all of that stuff at a deeper level than I knew. That was an aha moment. Okay.
And then that aha moment and your prior background and your partnership culminated into you starting 37 Oaks Consulting, LLC. Tell our listening audience about the company.
So 37 Oaks is a commerce consulting company, and what we do is we work with local retailers, which are businesses that have physical storefronts, retail storefronts. We work with brands, so these are product-based businesses that are selling maybe online or e-commerce or social media, and we also work with economic development orgs, and it's really about creating solutions around innovation, around commerce and economic development. So everything that we do around commerce and helping these businesses grow has an economic development aspect, because we know that in our communities we have, one thing I believe is that in our communities we have businesses that are untapped, we have talent to support those businesses that are untapped, and we have space that is untapped. So our purpose is to really revitalize our neighborhoods through those three areas.
Absolutely. I was kidding Terrand earlier that I read a bio and I said, man, I read it and I know that I'm college educated and I still don't know what, she's really, really smart. I just put it in the smart category. All right. Sibyl Holloway. Yes. Again, if you've been anywhere around business in the Chicagoland area, then you got to know Sibyl. Sibyl, talk to our listening audience, for those who may not know about you and Sibyl's Breakfast Club. Talk to us about your passion, what you're doing, and why you're doing it.
Why am I doing it? Because we need it.
Yeah.
Black businesses need help. They need exposure. They need marketing. I started it when I was working in corporate America like you, Terrand. And I love breakfast. So now it was so many breakfast spots that didn't have marketing. I'm like, you didn't even know about this place. It's on 63rd Street. Let's go. I brought some friends. It was more like a fun thing.
Right.
We just pop some bottles, listen to some music. From 10 to 2, we just get together and support this business. And then it started, people would call me like, can you come to my business? Can you come to mine? Then I ventured off to shoe stores and attorneys and doctors, and 11 years later, I'm still doing it, you know.
And I don't have the vocabulary of the words to articulate how important what you're doing is to our collective community in respect to black business owners. Yeah. What do you see as if this could be like Burger King, have it your way, and you could cure the problems that small businesses are having? What would be your one ask? What would be the one thing that you could say, if we could do this better, this will put us in the right place?
Pay for marketing and work on our customer service.
You just said we could have a whole show talking about customer service and pay for marketing.
I get all these calls, Sibyl, this business is about to close. Help them. I can't be your Band-Aid. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I go to all these businesses in the beginning. Can I help you? What can I do? No. My friends and family, I know a lot of people. Your friends and family are not going to keep your business open. And it's not their job to.
Right.
People put everything on their friends and family. It's not their job to keep your business open. This is your dream. You have to work on your marketing, your customer service, keeping places clean, doing what you need to do to keep it open.
Tell us about Sibyl Holloway Marketing and your new facility.
Okay, well, it's a private co-working space. I have a little over 200 members. I asked a lot of my members if I can name drop. So, Yasmin from Two Fish, Craig Richardson from Batter and Berries.
Yeah, Rudolph.
Right, of course. I have a lot of great attorneys. I have a few judges. A lot of just great people that use the space just to work, and they network. It's kind of like a breakfast club, except it's private.
Okay.
You know, everybody just works and hang. You know what a co-working space is.
For those
it's a little funky. It's really nice. You know.
For those who may not be familiar with the term, what's a
incubator?
Okay.
It's a big loft where people come use their laptops and work.
Okay.
So that they don't have to pay for lights, gas, in their own office.
Gotcha.
Right. So you'll see people all over. You know.
So 2-part question: if I'm a small business owner and I want you to visit my business, what do I have to do?
Have a meeting with me. Let's work and see what I can do, how I can do it. Even if I'm the right person, because sometimes Terrand may be a better person for your business. But we have a meeting. You pay me, and
I
get busy.
Right, there you go.
Because I'm very passionate about it. I do everything I can to get you out there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We got some business news. We're going to come back with our two guests again, Ms. Terrand Smith and also Sibyl Holloway, here on the Urban Business Roundtable with Curtis R. Monday. Sibyl Holloway of the Sears Breakfast Club. Good morning, Sibyl.
Good morning.
And also Ms. Terrand Smith, founder and CEO of 37 Oaks Consulting LLC. Good morning, Terrand.
Good morning.
All right. We were so Sibyl and I and Terrand and I, we were all talking about businesses and getting people together and things of that nature, and just had a really aha moment in respect to small business owners. We're businesses, so we got to get paid. We got to get paid. It's funny, like a lot of times people want everything for free 99, and it's not. Everything is not free. Like there's a price tag that comes to investing. Let me say it this way. Let me put Articulate Monday on for a second. Mm-hmm. You have to invest in your future. You have to invest in your productivity, in your improvement, right? So again, go ahead and cut that check. Now I'm not Monday no more. I'm the other side of me. Cut the check so we can go ahead and do what we have to do. But in reality, though, if you have good businesses who are providing good resources and doing the right things, you know, they're going to be edifying and help out with the community. One of the things that we're doing come to Thanksgiving, 10 families. We got 10 families we've identified, and we're going to take Thanksgiving dinners over to them, right? Oh. And so turkey, dressing, sweet potato pies, the whole nine. We'll meet them. I'm going to hand deliver it to their house. I'm going to go to each house and deliver it. But I'm able to do that because of the support that I get from individuals. You ladies have a couple of events coming up. So let's go Terrand first. Terrand, tell us about one of your events that you have.
So one that we're really really excited about is called the Retail Technology and Innovation Conference. As I mentioned, a big thing at 37 Oaks is about really building up our local retailers because that's going to impact the community. So we're partnering with MS Spark, which is an economic development org out of Bronzeville. And this is the second time we've done it. Yelp is our prime sponsor. And really it's about bringing technology and innovation to our local retailers and not making it so intimidating or complex because they have to have technology to thrive. It doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, you have to have technology to thrive. So that's what this is all about. It's on Monday, October 21st at IIT. If you go to Retail Tech Conference, so retailtechconference.com, you can get all the information. But the focus here is really about turning marketing into sales. So it's about conversion because you can have a really great marketing plan, Sibyl, as you know, but if it's not driving customers to buy, and that's what your intent is, then you're not going to really get the benefit of it. So,
is there a cost for attending the conference?
Yeah, so tickets are $35, but if you follow 37 Oaks on IG, that was my plug,
there you go.
Then you can get discount codes because we put them out there. So at the most, it's $35.
Gotcha. Sibyl, there's also another event that's happening. The Women in Terrand too. Okay, Terrand, see the plug. We got the Women in Commerce and Community event. Tell us about that.
So this is an event hosted by QCDC, which is another economic development org out of Bronzeville. And actually, Sibyl and I are both going to be participating at that conference. So it's on Monday, the 14th. And it's at Little Black Pearl, and it is a combination of really amazing, when I say amazing women, like really amazing women within our community that are in all different industries and all different stages of business growth, and they're really talking about how they became successful. And these are really open, honest conversations, and getting that experience and that knowledge from people who've been in the industry for a while and been entrepreneurs for a while is priceless.
Gotcha. There are costs for attendees for that one?
It is. That is $50, but we have discount codes out there as well. And actually, there is a discount code. It's DISC50, and you get 50% off there.
Gotcha. So I want you I want everyone to support the event and have a chance to meet both Sibyl and Terrand in person and get your business together. Like if I told you how much money I've spent in respect to my own personal education to help me grow as a professional, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, even on the real estate side alone, it's a lot, but you get it back tenfold, if you take the education and actually apply it. So when you struck a chord when we're talking about the small businesses and things we could do better, you said marketing and you said customer service. I almost really don't know which one to begin because we can go on and on. The customer service. I battle with this one because I know that as an African American business owner, I have the added responsibility to do it 3 times better than my white peer in respect to. I know already, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, right, and for a lot of reasons, but it doesn't help when we feed into or add some truth to the stereotype. It don't help when I go to Popeyes in the hood. And you out of chicken. Like your whole job description is to have chicken. Like how are you out of chicken? That's your job. I can see if I went to Popeyes and I asked for apple pie and you said I don't have any more apple pie. Well, that's not okay.
We don't care about Popeyes because they not black owned.
Oh, my bad. Hey, but wait, you can have a black franchise owner.
You could.
There you go. But my bad. I get you. Let's
talk about some of the black-owned McDonald's.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
I'm just saying, customer service. Is there? And I struggle with this as a business owner myself. You kind of get what you pay for.
You do
sometimes, right? And so some of the industries that we're in the small business, you can only offer so much salary-wise, right? And with that, sometimes comes maybe a different pool of candidates who may qualify. You laughing because I'm trying to find the right one. With that comes a different pool of candidates, right? Like I did that, different pool of candidates, right? So how do we get better at customer service? Wow. Terrand, like, I'm a solopreneur. I don't have any. I'm not here by myself, so I'm not dealing with that nonsense.
No comment.
No comment.
So that's the training we were talking about. Maybe that's an event.
That's a collaboration, a future collaboration between us on
people
that.
Just have to care. Like, growing up with my dad working in his store, you got paid nothing. So, and you were expected to do the best. So it's all about what you teaching your children and what that individual cares, how they feel. They just have to care. You have to care.
I got you. I
mean, come on.
Okay, so let me dive in because I have
please dive
employees.
in.
I would say one, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you got to do a good job of screening, right? You have to do a very good job of being able to assess who you actually hiring. I actually use a consulting company out of Florida, and they do aptitude testing. We psychologize. I don't care if it's from a person that's going to telemarket to a person that's going to be an insurance professional. We take them through the same regimen. You have a 20-minute assessment that you do online to figure out if you have the aptitude for this career. And after you finish, I have a very good idea if you are good for service, if you're compassionate, if you can take no for an answer, are you a self-motivator, are you slow? Like, I know everything about you. My man, Steve Suggs out in Florida, he's 100 for 100. How do I know? I did the assessment on my current staff before I hired him. He had never met him, and everything that he said about them was absolutely true. So, and from that point on, I use a criteria in respect to how I hire my team. So that's one. Two, you got to train, right? I don't care if it's at the local McDonald's or the clothing store. You got to train the individuals. And you have to show them that you care and train them the right way to do. And I think thirdly, you got to give incentives, right? People have to be able to see that where you're starting off at isn't kind of where you can end up at. I mean, it's not the end game. You have to give incentives to keep them motivated, to keep working hard. Otherwise, you know, it'll be what you get. They don't have any chicken when I go to the chicken spot. Let's go to, they got some questions for you. Miss Hyde asked the question, this event, can it help a valet parking business? One of these two events, maybe yours, can it help a valet parking business?
Yes. So the Retail Tech Conference, yes, it can. So if you are selling a service and you want to try to find out what technology can you use to maybe organize the cars or the keys or even marketing to a certain extent. Definitely. Yes. So retailtechconference.com.
Miranda Booker, who's online watching this, says the customer service is huge. It can be the thing that can make or break your business or reputation. That is true. You only have one time to make a good first impression. She says, I was a quality analyst for years, and you not only have to screen, but you have to train, motivate, and things of that nature. She goes, yes. Another one, Dancing Diva Son says, yes, I'm a customer service fanatic, and yes, screening, because aptitude determines your altitude in business. Everyone wants you guys to give your information again. We'll start with you, Sibyl. Where can individuals find you?
Sibyl Holloway Marketing Company on Facebook, or Sib's Breakfast Club, SIBS.
Got
Breakfast
you.
Club.
Are there more opportunities for people to get space at your facility?
Exactly. Yes. Totally.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. And Terrand, give your information about 37 Oaks and also the events again.
Sure. 37oaks.com, Instagram, Facebook at 37 Oaks. And for the conference, it's retailtechconference.com. And for the Women, Commerce, and Community, if you just go to Eventbrite and put in Women, Commerce, and Community, you can get the information for that, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, everyone that we bring here on the Urban Business Roundtable, it's strategic. We want to hear inspiring stories about their entrepreneurial walk, but we also want to provide resources that can help that individual who's thinking about getting into business, start the journey, or a person that's in business. How can I do what I do better? How can I be more efficient? How can I be more impactful? Technology is one way. Customer service and get your name out there in marketing is another. So I promise you got my promise that when I leave here, I'll make sure I connect with Sibyl and Terrand and get that information to figure out how we can strategically partner more with, keep bringing that information on the show and figure out how we can do things collectively in the city together. Great show, as always, even though Sonia, our beloved producer, is out there getting cuffed for cuffing season and not being here with us. We know the truth. My man Troy Howe on the ones and twos. TF Studios, we love him. You can always see his work. Hey, I need you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Curtis R. Monday. We're really close to making our 100 subscriber. That's a milestone for me. That whoever that 100 subscriber is, when I find out who you are, you got $100 coming from me. So I want to see who you are. Sibyl said that'd be her. Terrand said, "Now it's gonna be me." My man, Mighty Titus. We got to get out of here, man. Keep it locked here all day on Talk Chicago, 1690 WVON. I don't do this for my first name. I do this for my last name. Chance Jordan, Daddy loves you. Say what you want to about me, but always know that I did it my way. God bless you. Bye-bye.